see if it will go live. Are we live? I don't see video. I see video. Do I see video? I don't see. Okay, cool. So we have video. We have. Great. Okay, sorry guys. I don't go live that much. Forgive me. Okay, so I am streaming on TikTok and on YouTube right now. As you can see from the title, we are going to be talking about the New York shooting along with some other shootings that happened this week. I have like I think 3 stories that I'm going to talk about, um, and everybody wants to hear about the New York story, so of course we're not going to do that one first. No, we're going to go into a shootout in Alaska outside of a nightclub, and we're going to talk about the mass stabbing that happened in a Walmart. And then we're going to talk about the New York mass shooting that happened. And we're going to talk about not just the news about it, but also why each of these individual incidents are. Is it emblematic of why we need the Second Amendment? Is that too big of a word? Should I not be using that big of a word? My point is, we're going to talk about all that stuff, and what I'm going to do is wait and see if anybody gets in the room, but if not, we will go ahead and jump right into that stuff. I'm going to, let's see, let's talk about the Alaska event first. It's kind of a crazy video, honestly. Um, I I saw this. Somebody sent it to me on, I think it was Telegram, which was insane. Um, let's see. How do I get this? Let's see. I gotta find it. Let's see. Nope. Ads. This is annoying. Give me a second, guys. Ugh. One moment. Uh, Thought I had all this set up, but apparently I do not. So, give me a second. Okay. Okay. Think I figured it out. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so sorry for all of that. That was a pain in the ass. I have not streamed in so long that freaking OBS was not doing what I wanted. Anyway, okay, so we're gonna get into the Alaska shooting first. Let me pull that up. For those of you who are on TikTok, you're probably not gonna see this because the way that TikTok has you stream is very different than any of the other platforms. So if you're watching on TikTok and you want to see the actual news stories and not just hear me talk about them, go over to YouTube, Biopilot Arms, and watch live there. That is where you'll be able to see everything that I'm showing on my screen. Otherwise, you can just listen to my pretty voice. Anyway, so let us get to this story here, guys. So we have a shooting outside Gaslight Bar in Anchorage, Alaska. So on July 20th, a shootout occurred in downtown Anchorage outside the Gaslight Bar at 4th Avenue. Uh, it's across the street from the Anchorage Police Department, which I find kind of hilarious because the fact that this happened right outside the police department and it still took as long as it did for the cops to show up in the video I'm going to show you guys is a little mind-boggling. But so let's see. The Alaska Landmine, this publication, they got security footage and they stitched it together to show like a full timeline of everything that happened. We're not going to watch the entire thing because it's like 10 minutes long. Also, it's quite boring after, all the action happens. So I will be like jumping around. But essentially, this footage shows two masked guys that walk up to the bar, which they never go inside of. Several women walking behind them. Not long, fight breaks out between two women. Then the two masked men get into an altercation with a security guard. One pulls out a pistol and starts shooting at the security guard. The security guard gets shot in the hand. Now, in the video, it looks like he gets shot in the chest. Um, but another guard was hit by several bullets. Both of them, thankfully, survived, so that's good. Another security guard, who is clearly aware something was about to go down, man, opens the trunk of his car and pulls out a rifle, which I don't know what the security guard laws are in uh, Anchorage, but there seems to be. They're better than here in Texas. Um, he was held by police, obviously, for questioning, but then they released him because, I mean, once you guys see this video, it'll be clear. Um, it says soon after the shootout, police arrive on scene amid the melee. It wasn't that fast. Um, the other guy that went with the first original masked man, that walked up with the shooter, can be seen walking past him after the police show up. So we're gonna scroll down. We're gonna look at this video. Um, this is the unedited footage, and you can see there's a huge group of people just kind of milling about here. These two guys, the only guys with masks, with hoods on. Everybody else is in like summertime clothes. They're all just chilling. But these guys walk up. I don't know about you, but when I first watched this video, they were the two that I assumed that this was going to happen with. And what do you know? So in today's day and age, with COVID having been long past, we're long past, okay? If anybody is walking around with a hood and mask on, that's a problem, okay? that is that is that's no bueno. Something bad is about to happen if that, you know. if that's happening. So you can see here that a fight starts to break out. Security starts to get involved here. Um, the I don't think that this initial fight has anything to do with the fight that happens later on. It could, but I don't know because this happens and the masked guys aren't anywhere to be seen currently. They're just off screen, I think it looks like. Now, you can see in this other, let me see if I can pause it. Um, I hate when that happens. I don't like, I don't want them to go over. I want to see the foot. Okay. So you can see up here in this top corner here, uh, the security guard steps in to kind of break up the fight. Now, I couldn't tell if that was the same fight that was happening from before. Maybe it was. Um, and then the hooded guy there gets involved. One of them, not both. One of them is here. It's the guy in the mostly white with like the the black or bluish top portion of that hoodie. And then let me see if it shows it. It's hard to see from this angle, but yeah, pulls out a gun, shoots him when the security guard tries to stop what's going on. But here's this next angle is absolutely the best angle that we have, okay? This is the best angle. This security guard, I have to say, his ability to read the situation and immediately hop into action is fantastic. Watch the security guard pull this rifle out of the trunk of this white car. Dude just knows and just springs into action, bro. What I don't understand is this guy. Let me back it up just a little bit. Bro in the blue has zero survival instincts. This guy have zero survival instincts whatsoever. Dude is just complete, like, just shooting is occurring over here. He's like, it's the inconvenience, man. I'm just trying to eat my food. These people are fighting. They're shooting. Why? Why is this happening? Like, it, no survival instincts. It's not until a gun is pointed in his direction that he's like, "Oh, maybe I should leave now." It's hilarious, but like just the let me so I hate that I can't pause it, but I'm gonna try and like point it out real quick. This security guard right here that I really hate that they do this. I don't I and I could It's not on YouTube anymore because the raw footage, if you're not talking over it or editing it in any way, they'll take it down for like content BS. But as long as you're like doing what I'm doing, it's fine. Uh, so this security guard here pulls out full on rifle. Now he takes this guy out. The thing that strikes me though is okay in Texas, right? There, because I used to be a bodyguard, so I know the as Texas security guard laws. In Texas, you have to get certified on any of the weapons you're going to carry, whether it be uh, pepper spray, baton, and firearms. But each firearm has a different classification and, I guess, endorsement for your license. So if you are going to be doing pistol, you have to get qualified for the pistol. If you have a shotgun, you have to get qualified for the shotgun. Here's the thing. In Texas at least, there is no rifle qualification. Now, some people that I worked with, they decided to go into the gray area a little bit and be like, let me carry an AR pistol. But the thing is the way the law was written, it seems, it's not explicitly stated, but it seems like it's talking about the calibers, not the actual uh, platform itself. So I never did that because I didn't want to get in trouble. In Alaska, though, I don't know what their laws are. And I'm wondering whether or not he's legally able to carry that rifle or if it's the same as here where the reason that he staged it in his car like that is because he wasn't able to carry it. And so what he did was he staged it in the car and then pulled it out when something was happening. Because that, I feel like, is a way to kind of get around it. You can't carry it, but if something happens and you're able to access it, different story. It's what I think under the law, it's considered like immediate necessity, which is how which is the same law that actually sometimes allows felons to utilize firearms or weapons that they're not legally allowed to have to protect themselves and not go to jail for it. It's because they're allowed, because of immediate necessity, to access it and utilize it. So, interesting little tidbit there. But yeah, so we're gonna keep going. The this guy just walking. I mean, look at the guy just walked right by. He almost got blasted. Like the security guard, I will say, very good at keeping things from hitting him, but just barely. But the muzzle awareness was not the best just then. I mean, he pointed it at the guy in gray. Uh, shouldn't have done that. Then the other thing I want to talk about is this guy. This guy that shows up. What is this guy doing? What is this other security guard right here? What is he doing? Like, I don't understand. He's pointing a gun at literally everybody. Don't do that, okay? I was a security guard. I know how to. Don't do that. That is one surefire way when you are under stress to accidentally shoot somebody you shouldn't. Because, like, look at this. The shooting is over. Everything is done. Okay? And he comes in here hot as hell and is like, I'm going to point a gun at everybody because I need to secure the area. The shooting is over. The incident is over. Yes, okay, you can look around and be like, okay, you know what? I need to make sure there's no other problematic people. There's nothing else happening. But he he had zero. He had worse muzzle awareness than the guy with the rifle. At least the guy with the rifle, I can somewhat excuse it and be like, he just got in a shootout, okay, and you know, his muzzle was still pointed down and swept the guy's feet, not his torso. Still, would I have liked for him to avert the muzzle? Yes, but he didn't. Like, it wasn't an active like I'm gonna sweep everybody thing. This guy comes in there and he's Call of Dutying that crap so hard, pointing his gun at everybody. Like, I have no problem with him having the gun out. What I have a problem with is the fact that he's got it in like a low ready but not pointed down position. I would have preferred him to have it in sole position. So, from here, you tuck it here and you look around, assess the situation, and present if you need to. But that's just me. Now, from here, it's been about, what, like maybe 10 seconds? Let's see how long it takes after the guy goes down for the cops to show up. Because it's about, what is this? 2 minutes, 30 seconds. So takes him down. We've got, mind you, this is happening right across the street, supposedly, from the police department. Okay? So I'm wondering exactly how long this took for the cops to show up. So one security guard, you can see in the back behind that, I think that's a dump or a trash can or something. I don't know exactly what that is. It looks like either a newspaper stand or a trash can. He went down. I don't know if he's the guard that got shot in the hand or if he's the guard that had other injuries because they didn't specify what the other injuries were. So, not sure. But he's definitely down, injured. Thankfully, all the guards, Okay, so cops show up right here. Where is that? A minute? Like a minute 16? Or is that, hold on, we said it was what, 2:30? So, okay, 45 seconds. That's not super bad reaction time. 45 seconds, not too bad. But still, that's from when the guy went down. It was over a minute between the time that the first shots went off to the time the cops showed up. Now, how does this all tie in to uh, how does this all tie in to self-defense? Well, first and foremost, all of that. Two guards were shot, bad guy was shot, and the other bad guy got away in less than a minute. Typical self-defense scenarios happen in about 5 to 10 seconds. This one took a little bit longer because the secondary guard had to get in the fight. The first guard went down. So about, what was that, 25 seconds was the entire thing. You can't rely on the police. It took them over a minute to get there, and the entire thing was done in that amount of time. So you have to rely on yourself, right? So now, obviously, this area has problems, which is why they have so many armed guards. And in this scenario, having a gun to protect yourself may have not necessarily been the right answer, simply because you could have been mistaken for uh, a bad guy. Because these guards, they're gonna just deal with whoever has a gun and is not wearing a security jacket, right? Same thing can happen with cops, though. If you defend against, say, a mass shooting in a mall or whatever, and the cops show up and you're still holding your gun, you could also be shot. It's happened before. Now, I still don't think that that's an argument as to why nobody should have guns, because let's remove the guards from this scenario and say that there weren't any, or there were minimal guards, unarmed guards, something like that. Unarmed guards, I'll tell you right now, are not going to help. They're going to run away like just about everybody else, because what are they going to do? So, as far as this scenario, if we remove the guards, how do you get out of this situation? You need to have a gun and protect yourself. It's that simple, especially considering how fast and violent these type of interactions can happen, right? Like the the typical amount of time it takes is between 5 and 10 seconds for the entire thing to be done when it's a one-on-one scenario. Now, this involved more than one person, but if it's just you against, let's say, a mugger or something, 5 to 10 seconds is how long it's going to happen. Do you think you have time to call for help? Do you have time to wait? Do you have time to do anything like that? No, you don't. You don't. You have to act immediately in your self-interest, and or for your family next to you, or your friends in this case if you're out at a bar with friends. Now, of course, the reason that there's a lot of security, I don't know what the laws are in Alaska, but here in Texas, you can't be drinking. What, I shouldn't say you can't be drinking. You cannot be in a bar with a gun, because we have 51% laws. So if a location uh, makes more than 51% of their on-site for consumption alcohol sales is 51% or more of their profits, then you can't carry a gun in there. If it's less than that, for instance, like a restaurant or something, then I believe it's like, it used to be the blue sign. Now it's governed under 30.05, I want to say, the trespass stuff. So now, generally speaking, in Texas, you can't carry a gun if you're like overly intoxicated, but there's no law against having a drink while also uh, carrying a gun. So as long as you're not like massively drunk or tipsy, and you can still, you know, uh, use your faculties, then you can still carry. And this also doesn't apply, I don't think, to private, uh, like if you're at home or whatever. But in public, generally speaking, you can't. I'm assuming they have similar laws in Anchorage, and so you probably can't carry a gun. So I would say just be mindful of where you are, what you're doing, and all of that, because it's I would suggest carrying something other than a gun. Um, like in Texas, you can carry a knife into a bar. You can carry under a certain number. I think it's like under 3 inches. You can carry pepper spray. Like there's other things that you could do. Would any of that have helped here? I think possibly. Um, the the guy got into a fight prior to shots being fired. So you figure if you had time, if the guy was getting aggressive with you and you felt you needed to go hands on, you could have sprayed him in the face with the pepper spray and he may have still pulled out a gun, start shooting, but he may have not been able to accurately hit anything. So anyway, so that is the Anchorage shooting. Now we're gonna go to the uh, mass stabbing that happened at a Walmart. So that was hold on. Let me check the comments. Somebody said, "Nice hat, thanks, thank you." I guess it's a. I don't know what to like. I don't know what to say to that. It's just a regular hat. What? Nice. Okay. Anyway, so we're gonna go to the Walmart stabbing. So I'm gonna show you the video on this one first, simply because uh, it gives more context, I think. Let me get it on the screen where my face isn't covering it. Okay, here we go.
Throw the knife that way! Throw it away!
This morning, a hero who helped stop a man accused of stabbing multiple people at a Walmart in Traverse City, Michigan, speaking out exclusively with ABC News.
I didn't think of anything other than trying to get him away from people and get him isolated and get him to put the knife down.
Former Marine Derek Perry says he was checking out at the Walmart Saturday afternoon when he heard a commotion.
A lady was like screaming for her son, and all the employees and patrons were clamoring, trying to run in different directions.
The suspect, 42-year-old Bradford James Gilly, fleeing to the parking lot. Perry and others dropping their groceries to surround the man. Perry pulled his gun. It's legal to open carry in Michigan.
Okay, so sorry, one quick. Those of you on TikTok, you guys can't see what's going on because I am also streaming on YouTube. If you want to see what is going on, please head over to YouTube, Biopilot Arms. I'm live streaming there as well. So head over there if you want to see everything. Otherwise, there might be moments of silence where, the YouTube viewers are able to see what's going on and you guys aren't. So if that's the case, go ahead and head over there. But as you can see, black man with a gun. Yes, that is what America's about. Gun control is racist. Fight me on that. It is 100% racist. You can't change my mind. The reason that it's racist is because all of the open carry laws and all of that was changed when the Black Panthers started open carrying their guns in California, and it bled into other states. Also, when the slaves were freed, they didn't want slaves having guns, so that's why they were like, yeah, we gotta change these laws so that way, they can't carry them. No. I am so glad that pretty much anybody can carry nowadays. Fantastic. Black man with a gun stopped a mass stabbing event. But here's the thing that bugs me. A lot of the news outlet, like the ABC News is probably the first one that I've seen, which is why I'm using them, that actually reported that an armed man stopped this attack. Everyone else never mentioned that he was armed. They never even bothered to say that this guy was a Marine who had a concealed carry that put himself in harm's way. They just said that a bunch of bystanders tried to stop him, and I'm like, that's not the same thing. So anyway, so the former Marine who helped confront the suspect in the stabbing rampage at Walmart gave that interview. Nearly a dozen people were just randomly stabbed in this attack on Saturday, including Derek Perry, who was armed with a gun, and he helped prevent the suspect from leaving or harming others. It's moments like this that really highlight why you need to be able to protect yourself, because this is just not it's not rare anymore. Like we have a mental health crisis in this country, and this is one of those times, I think, because no rational person just walks into a Walmart and starts randomly stabbing people. Like, nobody does that unless you're mentally ill. Anyway, so the reason that I brought this story up, though, is because the media does not like to admit when people stop stuff like this. because it hurts the narrative of all guns are bad. This guy didn't even have to shoot the guy to get him to stop. Just the threat of the presence of the gun alone got him to stop. So that was a short one. Now we're gonna move on to the one that everybody's been waiting for. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the New York story. Let me see which of these stories has the better thing. Okay, so let's see. I don't want that playing. I just want the story, and we'll look at the other part after. Okay, so this story is the timeline of the New York City uh, mass shooting. So the first thing I'm gonna say is that, well, I thought this couldn't happen. New York has like some of the most strict gun laws in the country. Okay, now I hear a bunch of other people say something along the lines of like, well, yeah, they just go and get guns and bring them in to the from out of state into state. Okay, well, that's not really a good argument because that's still against the law according to New York. So what? That's not a good it's not a good argument. Anyway, so here's the story. Um, so this guy Shane Tamura, I guess is his name, just walked into a high-rise building in New York at 345 Park Avenue and shot people. Now, here's the thing. This is the picture of the guy. He's wearing just a casual business suit. This guy is just walking in casually. Like, I situational awareness people, like these people in the background, I don't think any of them notice that this guy is carrying a rifle. Because, one, it's New York, and nobody expects it. But two, he's also not dressed like the stereotypical shooter would be. Like, most of them would put on, like, body armor and, like, um, military fatigues and stuff, and then walk into the building. Uh, he didn't do that. He just wore a suit. I mean, a little weird. But then again, I mean, this guy is insane. He's committing mass shooting. Of course, that's crazy. But situational awareness, that is one thing that I would like everybody to understand. Situational awareness. You need to be aware of the things that happen around you and always be kind of on yellow status whenever you're out in public. Okay? Because who knows? Like here in Texas, this wouldn't be the weirdest thing. Like I've walked around with a rifle before. I know people who have walked around with a rifle before. It's perfectly legal here. But where it's illegal, which it shouldn't be illegal, but where it's illegal, it's out of the ordinary and weird. So that's odd. He just walked right in. Now, uh, wearing body armor and wielding an assault style rifle. God, I already hate this news story. First of all, unless he's wearing soft armor underneath this, I don't think he was wearing body armor because I don't believe everything that is said in the news media because somebody else said that he had a suppressor on the gun, which he didn't because, and I'll show you in a minute, the actual photograph of the gun, it's a close-up photograph. There's no suppressor on it. So the fact that they're saying that he had body armor, I haven't seen pictures of the body armor, so I'm not going to believe that's the body armor because in the same sentence they say an assault style rifle. What is that? What exactly is an assault style rifle? Nobody can define it, and I'm tired of them using that terminology. Okay. A guy walked into a place with an AR-15 rifle. That's what it should read. Anyway, the alleged gunman, identified by police as 27-year-old Shane Tamura, burst through the lobby doors of a 44-story building in the heart of Midtown Manhattan on Monday, shooting victims at random. But do we know if it's random? Don't know. It happened at about 6:30 and left 4 victims, including an off-duty police officer working security at the building, dead, and 1 wounded as the shooter made it made it all the way to the 33rd floor where police say he died by unaliving himself. Good riddance. It's probably the best outcome we could have had because, it's either he self deletes, he gets in a shootout with cops, or escapes. Or or the state has to take care of him for the rest of his life. So as far as him being, bye-byed, I have zero problems with that. I am glad that he did that because, like, I'm sorry, but there's no reason for us to take care of this guy for the rest of his life or, have a whole shootout or anything. Um, but so here's the picture of him walking in. Uh, they found a note in Tamura's pocket uh, where he claimed he suffered from chronic traumatic encephalopathy uh, and asked his brain to be studied. Okay, well, that's weird. CTE is a brain disease linked to repeat hits to the head, often seen in military veterans and athletes, including football players, hockey players, and boxers. I think he played football. There were reports supposedly that he tried out for the NFL and didn't get in, and that's why he did this. He was trying to go to the offices of the NFL, but not 100% confirmed, I don't believe. Uh, Eric Adams on Tuesday said, based on the suspect's note, investigators allege he was focused on the headquarters of the NFL, which is housed in the building. Okay, but that's just based on the note. I would like to see additional evidence that says that because did he even make it? I don't think this article says, but I don't even think he made it there, as far as I know. So here's the path supposedly they took. So on the 26th, he was in Nevada, made it to Colorado the same day, then Nebraska, then all the way to New Jersey and New York City. Took 2 days of travel. Still don't understand. I mean, what the motive was. Was he mad at the NFL for not taking him, or was it the brain injury that caused him to have like a freak out that then he went and did that? Who knows? Uh, let's see if I can find the picture. So this guy is the guy. That is not what I was expecting when they told me what his name was, but also was expecting. It's weird. Anyway, uh, so the suspect who had a concealed carry license in Nevada in 2022 enters the lobby of the building, spraying it with gunfire, and he goes to the elevator, which I believe is when he took it up to the 33rd floor, I want to say. So here is there's a little graphic, but it's newsworthy, so YouTube don't take me down. It's literally on a news website. Okay, so we can see you can't see the whole thing, but he used a Palmetto State Armory two-tone AR-15. Now that this is the same actual scope I have on one of my rifles. Funnily enough, it's cheap and a piece of crap. So I don't think he was actually going to use that because it's not good at all. Now here's the thing. One of the reports that I saw said that he had a suppressor on. He does not. You can see right here there's no suppressor on this thing. Okay? Uh, he shoots the off-duty NYPD officer who was working security and confronted him. Now, uh, Aland Ita, I might butcher this. Aland Etienne, another security guard in the building, is also fatally shot confronting the suspect. The suspect kills one other person before taking the elevator to the 33rd floor offices of real estate management firm Rudin Management, where he fatally shoots a fourth victim before fatally shooting himself in the chest. It's not an M4 rifle, guys. It's an AR-15. Please. First you say it's an assault rifle, then you say it's an M4. Which is it? Okay. Um. So the question is, was he trying to get to the NFL headquarters? Because he got to Rudin Management, which was a real estate company. Did he just pick the wrong floor and assumed that he was on the right floor, or was he actually targeting somebody in management. That's still to be seen. The authorities think that it had to do with the NFL because of the note that they found in his pocket, but we don't know for sure because of the fact that he ended up either on the wrong floor or the note is like a red herring trying to get us to think that it was about the NFL headquarters, but in fact it was about this real estate management company. We don't know yet. They're doing more investigations. So, uh, for those of you, again, on TikTok, if you want to see what I'm actually talking about looking at, you can go to YouTube, Biopilot Arms on YouTube. I'm live streaming there where you can see everything. I have limitations right now on what I can stream on TikTok. So if you want to head over there, you can. Um, Ocean, we are talking about the New York shooting, the thing that happened on Monday down in Manhattan. That's currently what we're talking about. So, in the immediate aftermath of the rampage, police find a handwritten note in the suspect's pocket in which he says he has CTE and accuses the NFL of concealing the dangers to players' brains to maximize the league's profits, police sources tell. In his note, the suspect blames playing football for his CTE disease and asks that his brain be studied. And you can see the note here. It says um, CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Study my brain, please. I'm sorry. Tell blank. I'm sorry for everything. I don't know what the blank is. That was redacted. Um, the but again, this is the note that makes them think that it might be the NFL thing. The preliminary investigation, according to police, has found no evidence that Tamura suffered from CTE, with medical experts say can't be diagnosed in a living person with certainty. In a search of the suspect's car, according to authorities, police find additional ammunition, a revolver, a backpack, and medication. Um, so yeah, this guy basically is crazy, and how this all played out is still to be understood. Like they're still going through his home. They're still trying to find like an actual motive because like we just read, they said that he didn't there's no way to like self-diagnose CTE and there's no possible way to do it 100% in a living person. Like you have to actually cut into someone's brain to figure that out. So the also again, like I haven't heard whether or not he actually played in the NFL or if he failed to get into the NFL. And if that's the case, and he only played like high school or college football before doing this, why is he blaming the NFL? Is it because like is the supposition that because the NFL doesn't tell people about the dangers of CTE and the players are glorified that means that by you playing college football and getting a traumatic brain injury, that's the NFL's fault? Like, I just don't follow the logic. But then again, this guy's a mass shooter, a mass murderer who it defies reason. So, but anyway, that is what we know so far. Now, how it relates to my channel and what I'm talking about is the state of New York is one of the highest gun control locations in the country, next to probably like California and maybe like is it Chicago or Detroit? Well, I think they're both pretty strict on gun control, but a lot of people are saying that they're trying to figure out where he got the gun. I would assume that he got it out of Nevada. That's what I would assume. And probably drove with it and brought it all the way to New York. Now, for me, I'm sitting here going, well, I thought that this type of thing couldn't happen in New York because they have huge amounts of gun laws. And to that, a lot of people say, well, he just went and got it from out of state and brought it back in, and that's why this type of thing happened. And to that, I say, that was also illegal. You are not allowed to import those types of weapons into New York. Same with California. You can't bring certain weapons into California. Like what they call assault weapons with certain features, certain setups, you're not allowed to bring them. So either way, he still broke the law. And a lot of people's solution is, okay, well, what we can do is we can just ban them all across the nation. And I'm like, do you really think that would work? Like, this criminal ignored that you can't openly carry the firearm in the first place. He ignored that you can't bring it into the state, and then he ignored that you can't kill people with it. Do you really think that by banning all guns that somebody is not going to do these things? And a lot of people will point out, okay, well, but a lot of the places that have banned guns have seen a lower amount of gun deaths. And I'm like, okay, and there's more drownings in California at the ocean than there are Arizona. What what's your point? Yeah, if there's more of something, yes, there's more possible deaths with that thing. Like, I don't see the court like it. If you got rid of guns, people just use knives. Like the story we talked about earlier, where the guy went and stabbed like 10 people in Walmart. Like, and guess what stopped him? A guy with a gun, because nobody else who fought him off stopped him. He still stabbed people, and then the only time he stopped was when he was faced with a handgun. So I don't see the argument as to banning all guns. And then there's the thought of that people have said, well, let's ban all guns everywhere completely, and then we just won't have it. And I'm like, again, two things. One, guns are all but banned in Mexico, and the cartels have RPGs. Okay, do you think that they're getting them from like another county in Mexico? Like, no, they're importing it from like the Middle East. So if a criminal really wanted a gun, they'd probably get AK-47s from the cartels in Mexico. Okay, so this whole idea of like, well, if we ban them from this state and they bring them from this state into this state, but if we just ban them from all the states, that this state won't have any guns imported into it, is completely false. Criminals would just get them from, instead of another state, they would just get it from another country. I I don't understand. So then it then turns into, well, we got to ban guns worldwide, and it's like how unrealistic do you want to get with this? Because it's already pretty unrealistic. So gun control is not the answer. The answer is, in my opinion, mental health. Because I mean, in the 70s, dude, people were driving to school with like gun racks in their cars, just sitting up there with multiple rifles in every pickup truck in the high school parking lot, and nobody batted an eye. Nobody got shot up. Why is that? We had mental institutions, insane asylums, and people were locked up. But nowadays, they closed all of those, and people are just out on the street. Nobody's getting correct mental health, or they're being overprescribed meds that cause the symptoms that they're supposed to prevent. Like, you take an SSRI nowadays, bro, and it's like, yeah, this is a depression medication that might make you depressed and suicidal. Like, what? How does that make any sense? That is completely asinine to me. That 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 we're allowed, and we're also one of the only countries that allows, like, I think we're like one of like three countries that allows medical companies to run ads. What? Why is that a thing? Like, I'm sorry, but we should not be allowing that. So all of those things combined are creating this huge mental health crisis. Plus, and look, I'm not like the most religious person, but like we started as a religious country where we had like people following the Ten Commandments, being as moral as possible. And again, I'm not. Let's ignore slavery for like just 1 second, okay? Because there was a period from when the slaves were freed up until like I think like 1990, 1980, 1990, where people were mostly Christian. And yes, racism bad. Okay, I'm gonna say that like right out of the gate. But by far, the morals and principles laid down are correct. They just weren't being followed, right? So people who were going to church, people who were, marrying the nuclear family, like all of those things were good, and then all of a sudden society changes, mental institutions close down, the general like societal norms change to be like two income households, inflation, like there's so many different things that are causing this, not a single one of them being the guns. We've had guns for years. We've had guns for the entirety of this entire country's history. And guns just do not kill people. People kill people. Unless you're Sig Sauer. Because, well, you just put one of those in a holster and it goes off and kills a U.S. Air Force vet. Anyway, I think that part of the reason that a lot of these tragedies happen, if you'll notice, a lot of these things happen in places where there's it's either a soft target or minimal resistance. So, like in this case, I think it said that there were two security guards. One was the off-duty officer, and the other was, I think, just a security guard. And both of them were shot like immediately. Now, that's probably because he had a rifle and they had handguns that were in holsters. They probably weren't quick enough. Um, but he was looking for them because I believe it said they were the first two shot. So, of course, he's looking for them because, well, if you're going in to shoot a whole bunch of people, the first two people you're probably going to take out are the people that are wearing giant vests that say security on them and are visibly armed. Of course, they're going to go for those two people first. But that brings in the question of like, okay, well, why couldn't he be stopped after that? What, like, this could have been so much worse because like he took himself out, bro. Like it could have been so much worse if he had decided to keep going. Could have been like multiple more floors could have been shot up. The officers that went in there to stop him, some of them could have died. Like it could have been way worse. But why was he not stopped prior to him taking his own life? And it's because nobody can carry a gun. Nobody. It's almost impossible to get a concealed carry license in New York. It's almost impossible. And then even if you can get one, there's so many places that you're not allowed to carry that it just makes it almost useless to even get one. Because of the new Supreme Court decision, obviously more people are getting them, more places are allowing you to carry them, but it's not enough. I wholeheartedly believe that everybody has the right to self-defense and everybody should be able to responsibly carry a gun. Because this guy just walked into a random place. Like what's like what like where could this happen next? Literally anywhere. Like we've seen it happen at grocery stores, we've seen it happen in high-rise buildings, we've seen it happen at places like the post office or schools or whatever the case may be. I think responsibly armed people are the only way to stop it, while we also need to address the mental health issues because that is a big part of it. You guys tell me whether or not you agree or disagree. I think that's a majority of it, but you tell me. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all of you guys for watching. I might be putting these up in segments on my channel after I edit, but I appreciate all of you guys for watching. I don't normally go like live all that much, but if you want to check out my other content, please go ahead and like and subscribe. I think I think I might go live a little bit more often now. Now that I have it set up, sort of, kind of. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all of you guys. I will see you the next time I go live or in the next video I post. I think my next one's coming out next week. It'll be a knife testing video, if you like that type of thing. Anyway, guys, see you later.